Hi, and welcome to the Yarn Habit Geek podcast. My name is Laura. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Ravelry as Yarn Habit Geek. There is also a Ravelry group for the podcast if you wish to join. Welcome back to to any of my previous viewers, and hello to any new viewers. This is probably going to once again be a short episode because I have only focused on something that needs to get done by this weekend for delivery at the Toronto Fan Days, which is this one-day convention, basically more for the holiday shopping for all the stuff I'm interested in, which is like comics, anime. Well, they don't have that much anime there no more, but it used to be a one-day anime December con, which was called DTAC, but I will probably talk more about that geeky stuff in a later episode, probably next week. So let's get started with this week's episode. Alright, whips of the week. As I mentioned in the intro, I'm currently only focused on stuff that's got to be finished for Toronto Fan Days. And that is basically the Amigurumis I am working on. From last week's episode, I showed the parts that were in the box. Now, I'm in the assembly process, so I'm not going to show much because, basically, I will show the finished project, all the finished ones, in next week's episode. But right now, I'm in the assembly process. I won't have these with me for next week's episode, but I will, as always, when I do finished objects, show pictures of the finished objects that I take. So that is basically it for whips of the week, because it's just working on these three until this Saturday when I gotta deliver them. So let's get on with the next segment, shall we? Alright, so there are no finished objects as I had been focused on those whips. But I had a secret little side project which had a little bit of yarny stuff in it, but whenever I work on all the knitting and crocheting I do, I'm either watching Kitchen Nightmares, which I've seen every single episode so many times now. It is just now more for background noise, and I also watch some doll repaint videos, mostly from Hextian and Delightful, who I'm going to be posting links in the info box below. But I did my very first doll repaint, which involved some yarn, and this is my little doll repaint. I decided to do my first doll repaint on a cheap dollar store doll, and she just came out just gorgeous. I don't really have a name for her. She was just something I wanted to do, testing of doll repainting. After this segment's done, and this is actually the final segment, I'm going to show the before and after. Well, obviously you see the after right here, but as you can, the after is gonna be shown a little better because it's a photo. But as you can tell, I didn't like the dress she was wearing when I bought her, because it was a weird dress. So I decided to crochet up this little dress. And I actually made the hair. Yeah, and I totally replaced, as you'll see in the before and after photos, I totally replaced all the hair by making yarn wisps, which I learned to do from another YouTuber that does doll repaints called Mozekito, who's I'm going to link down in the info box below. And so she basically has two-tone hair. So the bottom half was my first yarn wefts that I made, which is this nice lilac. And then I just decided to make this top part, which is all rainbow, from a rainbow yarn from the Karen Simply Soft line. I should say the Karen Simply Soft Paints line, which is gorgeous. And then I went a tiny bit anime with the eyes, because those are kind of what I do. Because that's what I used to draw a whole bunch of times, so anime's been in my blood. But I am probably going to do more. This was just for my first time testing. My first test of doll painting. No, doll repaint, because I did a doll way back in '98. And I'm finally finishing some clothing for her, because that my first doll hasn't had clothes since '98, and now I finally have the skills to make the clothes for her. But this is it. So that is it for this week's episode. I will see you all next week, hopefully with definitely with finished objects, and maybe some whips that I get back to. So, till then, stay crafty, my friends.